Hello, welcome back to the channel. Just wanted to make a quick video showing how we can start with Terminus rather than Medius and pretty much still end up with the exact same end board from the last video. If you haven't seen that yet, I'll put a link down below. Go and check it out if you haven't. The big difference, of course, is that if we do start with Terminus, we're not beating Dron. We're still beating Nibiru, right? But we can't beat Dron. So I wanted to show this because I know it's something that some people are struggling with, and to be fair, the line is very, very, very different. So what we do is we start with Terminus, we have to dump the Doomsday Patron specifically, and we add the Medius. So at this point we can of course be trolled. Hard opening Medius is always by far the better option, but we weren't good enough to do that in this particular game. So we normal summon Medius, and we use his effect to special summon the Artmage Patron. So at the minute, other than the fact we've dumped the Doomsday Patron, and we did and do need to dump the Doomsday Patron specifically, still looks somewhat standard, right? So here's our discard. Any spell, doesn't matter, because that's your kind of 1.5 card combo angle. And so we're going to tribute the Artmage Patron, discard a spell, and we'll bring out the non-finito. As he hits the field, we'll go Chainlink 1, non-finito, Chainlink 2, Artmage Patron. Obviously you can do it the other way around, but I just feel like realistically, if they had Ash, they've used Ash on Medius. No one's letting Medius resolve if they had the option to stop it, let's face it. So we will go for a Elf Note Patron, being special summoned to the field from the Artmage Patron hitting the extra deck. Chainlink 2 resolving first. Chainlink 1, we get a copy of the counter trap. So we didn't beat Drawl, but we did beat Nip. Now what we do is we make Beyond the Pendulum, using Medius and the Elf Note Patron specifically. Chainlink 1, Beyond the Pendulum, Chainlink 2, Elf Note Patron. So Elf Note Patron will grab a copy of the Doomsday Patron from the graveyard, and then with Beyond the Pendulum, we'll grab Shade the Obscure. Scale them up. We Pendulum Summon, which activates the trigger effect of our Shade, bringing it back to hand. So from here, we make our Varudras, and we activate the effect of Shade, special summoning itself to the field because we control a pendulum monster. We activate his effect, popping the Doomsday Patron. Yes, we activate the secondary effect to put a pendulum monster from deck to face up extra deck, and that'll be a copy of the big Patron, and we'll activate both trigger effects. They can both add both, basically, because the Doomsday Patron can add any Power Patron or Doomsday spell or trap. The big Patron can add any Power Patron card, so you're grabbing the field spell, and you're grabbing an additional copy of Terminus. Now what we're going to do, so that I'm showing you this is the 1.5 card combo version where you only had those two cards, because even if you start with Terminus, you can still do it as a true 1.5 card combo. So you make Exceed the Pendulum, so Beyond the Pendulum, Shade the Obscure, link them off for Exceed Pendulum, trigger effect to add to hand. Any one of these, doesn't really matter which, because it's basically quote unquote discard fodder with the field spell. So we'll add Doomsday Patron, right? Like I said, doesn't really matter. From here, we can use Medius, shuffling Exceed back into the extra deck to bring Medius back to the field. We're going to activate the Vidolia, reveal Nerva, banish the fodder we've just brought back from Exceed Pendulum, and use that to special summon a copy of the Owl. And so from here, all quite self-explanatory, right? But I'll finish it out just in case you haven't seen the earlier video. So we use the effect of the Owl itself plus Medius to make a Deactorus, trigger effect of the Owl to get the field spell. And what I like about this line is that it does put a copy of Medius into banishment specifically, because if you look, if this fusion's card, blah blah blah, if this card's destroyed, you can special summon one Medius the Pure from your hand, deck, or banishment, and if you look, that doesn't include graveyard. So the fact you've got a Medius in banishment is actually quite nice, because if he gets destroyed, you can bring the Medius back from banishment. As he comes to the field, you can summon another copy of the Owl, because we run 2. As the Owl hits the field, we can either make another copy of Dactylorus if he hasn't yet used his negation, or that sets you up for a potential Nerva play during their turn to try and set up the board wipe. So we activate the field spell, we activate its effect using, this is basically a blank, right? That's why we added an additional copy of this to our hand, just to show again that it's a true 1.5 card combo starting with this. So we get rid of this and we get a copy of Graflair. We special summon Graflair. We use that to set a copy of Alteration. We activate the Alteration to get a copy of Awakening. Field spell pitches Awakening to get us a copy of Latera. Latera, on hitting the field, recycles the Awakening, which we pitch again to get ourselves a copy of Finmill to finish things off. Special summon Finmill. Use Finmill to draw a card. Now, in the original version of the combo, we had the Artmage Patron in our scale. So, if what we drew into with our Finmill draw was a spell or a trap that we don't want to set in our back row, pitch it. Use that to get ourselves a copy of the Artmage Patron, which obviously we will scale up as we end our turn. So as we pass turn now, we've still got our 6 negates that we did in the last combo. We got there in a slightly different route, of course. The only thing we actually lost was the Elf Note Patron, draw 2, discard 1. So we've still got 6 negates plus draw 1, and we beat Nib. Didn't beat Troll, unfortunately, you need Medius for that. All from a 1.5 card combo starting point of the Terminus spell. Just in case you didn't see the earlier video, I will show you quickly. We use Non-Finito and the Latera to make a copy of Ilia Sylvia. And so the negates we have are Ilia Sylvia, Omni Negate, Erudrus, Omni Negate, Dactylorus will negate anything that happens on the field. So there's 3 negates. You've got Artmage Finmill, which will negate all monster effects on the field. There's your 4th. Counter Trap to negate any monster effects. Spell speed 3. There's your 5th. And of course, this is your Ryziel Cross, effectively, for any monster effect that's activated in response to one of your Artmage monsters. So even though this particular line, it's a bit different, right? How you get here is quite different, and it is something you just need to kind of learn or memorize, I think, realistically, if you're going to play the deck, because the different starting points can actually change the combo routes quite a bit. But you can still, even though you didn't open Medius, make a very, very powerful end board, and that's what I wanted to show, really, because I don't like videos where it feels like, oh, if I open the best starter in the deck, this is what I can do. Because the reality is that in this deck, it's an incredibly consistent deck, because it's just full of starters. There's just a little bit of work to do in terms of understanding, okay, well, if I open this starter rather than this one, how does that change my combo route, and what do I need to do differently to still end on an end board that is, well, quite silly, basically, let's face it. Because even from here, right, we use the Ilia Sylvia negate. At some point it'll sacrifice itself, send itself to the graveyard. Dactylorus gets destroyed, we get to summon Medius back. Medius hits the field, we summon a copy of the Owl, because there's room for it now, right? Ilia Sylvia's not here anymore. And then that sets up the pressure, of course, for the Nerva board wipe. Anyway, like I said, just wanted to show you the combo route for what happens if we start with Terminus. Thanks for watching, consider subscribing if you haven't already. Hope to see you in the next one.